Kush, Nubia, Abyssinia, land of the burnt faces. Throughout history, ancient Ethiopia has been referred to by many names. Herodotus writes that its borders stretched across the Red Sea as far away as India, including Sudan, Egypt, Arabia, in fact all Africa south of the Sahara. Located in the highlands, present-day Ethiopia is a land of awe-inspiring mountains, cool plateaus, and lush green valleys. The Greek historian Diodorus Siculus writes, Ethiopians conceived themselves to be of greater antiquity than any other nation. Born under the sun's path, its warmth may have ripened them earlier than other men. Ethiopia is a land of stellae. A land of castles. A land of rock-hewn churches. Located in Shoa province and 8,000 feet above sea level is the capital city of Addis Ababa. Founded in 1866 by Emperor Menelik II, the city has a population of 600,000. Africa Hall, home of the Organization of African Unity. The mausoleum of Emperor Menelik II. In 1896, he destroyed Italian forces at the Battle of Adwa, successfully securing his country's frontiers against European imperialism. St. Stephanos, a modern Coptic church. Ethiopia is the second oldest Christian country in the world. Christianity became the religion in 330 AD. Ethiopian Coptic religion, unlike other Christian sects, proclaims the single and divine nature of Christ, a belief that the deity and human spirit are fused or brought together in the person of Christ. They regard Christ as God. A high priest in Addis Ababa delivers a sermon during Timkat, a three-day festival period commemorating the baptism of Jesus Christ in the River Jordan by St. John the Baptist. Timkat ceremonies are observed by Emperor Haile Selassie I. His ancestry goes back to the Queen of Sheba and beyond to Kush, to the year 6280 BC. His lineage is older than that of Queen Elizabeth by over 6,000 years. Depteras, the wise men and scholars of the church, dance and serenade the monarch. Aksum, home of the Queen of Sheba. During the 1st to 7th centuries, the Ethiopian kingdom of Aksum flourished as a major trade center of the world. Aksum was reputed to be the second Jerusalem, its legendary history going back 3,000 years when Menelik I, son of King Solomon and Ethiopian Queen of Sheba, returned from Jerusalem with the Ark of the Covenant, which was housed in Aksum. A priest reads from the Bible in the ancient language of Ge'ez, used to record Aksumite history before the birth of Christ. Crown jewels of Ethiopian kings. His Highness Erasmium, King Emperor Haile Selassie, King Menelik II, King John IV, King Su Michael, King Fassi. In Ethiopia, the hieroglyphics were understood by both the priesthood and the common man, whereas in Egypt, the hieroglyphics were understood only by the church. During the 3rd century AD, great stelae were constructed, huge stone monoliths hewn from granite. With a richly decorated altar at the base, the stelae rises to 60 feet and weighs 500 tons. They were carved and decorated. On their surfaces were depicted the wooden architecture of the day, constructed in the Aksumite style. The largest stelae lies shattered. A second was taken by the Italians during the occupation of World War II and has been erected near the Arch of Constantine in Rome. The purpose of these monuments is not definitely known. It is supposed they were erected in memory of kings, meant to be houses for the dead, resembling the many-storied castles of the kings. For their height, their massiveness, and sculptured detail, their like cannot be found in the world. The stelae are witness to the architectural skill and the organization of the ancient Ethiopians. In the province of Wollo, in north-central Ethiopia, is the town of Lalibela. By the 8th century, the Aksum kingdom was in decline due to repeated Persian and Arab invasions. Later in the 10th century, the first of a dynasty known as the Zagwe kings restored order and unity to the country. They ruled for more than 300 years. greatest ruler during this period was King Lalibela, famed for his great piety. In the 13th century, he inspired the construction of rock-hewn churches in the town. Legend has it that every saint was to be provided with a church. In pre-Christian Ethiopia, temples and places of worship were carved out of solid rock, a tradition which goes back thousands of years and continues into the Christian era. The Church of St. George. Carved out of natural rock. The church was not built like any other building. Rather, it was sculptured, a monolith of stone detached or cut away from its surroundings. So skillful, so exquisite was this workmanship that 16th century Europeans attributed this craftsmanship to gods and angels. Square-ended binders project at the corners of windows and doors, as they were represented on the stelae monoliths at Aksum. The main entrance is a shallow porch ornamented by simple moldings. Within this porch is a door of the traditional Aksumite style. Paintings and murals in the church sanctuary. The 11 churches are connected by subterranean passageways and trenches. St. Emmanuel Church. St. Mercurio's Church, today partially collapsed. In the floor, there are graves containing skeletons. The walls bear religious mural decorations. Abba Labano's church. The front is exposed. The roof remains connected to the rock, and the other three sides are detached from the hill by a tunnel. This church is also hewn in the Aksumite style with its characteristic wooden constructions and simulated second story. Legend has it that Abba Labanos was created in a single night by King Lalibela's wife with the help of angels. During the 16th century, the capital of Ethiopia shifted to the city of Gondar in the northeast part of the country. During the reign of King Fasilades, 1632 to 1667, the city grew rapidly. Culture and the arts prospered. Castles and churches built by him testify to the wealth and prosperity of the period. Count M.F. Volney, high official in the Napoleon government and traveler to Ethiopia during the 18th century, writes, "These heaps of ruins that you observe are all that remain of the opulent cities that gave luster to the ancient kingdom of Ethiopia." It was there that a people since forgotten discovered the elements of science and art at a time when all other men were barbarous, and that a race now regarded as the refuse of society because their hair is woolly and their skin is dark, explored among the phenomena of nature those civil and religious systems which have since held mankind in awe. During Timkat, various tribes and peoples of Ethiopia gather at Janhoy Mida Field in Addis Ababa. In a special Timkat pool, holy water is collected. Sprinkling fountains are opened. Believers sprinkle holy water on their heads, thereby renewing their Christian vows. The elders and clergy pray, while young people sing, dance, and play games. Traditional dance of the Amhara tribe. The Tigray tribe. The Gala tribe. The Ethiopian peoples and other Africans further to the south are similar. They share a common ancestry. It is quite wrong, but a common error, to consider Ethiopians to be racially a Middle Eastern people. Classical historians wrote of Ethiopia. Diodorus, 1st century BC. The Ethiopians supposed themselves to be the inventors of divine worship, of festivals, of solemn assemblies, and every other religious practice. They affirm that the Egyptians are one of their colonies. Lucien, another ancient historian, writes, "The Ethiopians were the first who invented the science of the stars and gave names to the planets, not at random, but descriptive of the qualities which they conceived them to possess. It was from them that this art passed, still in an imperfect state, to the Egyptians." And Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, former president of Ghana, visualized the future of the country when he spoke at the first Organization of African Unity Summit Conference. Ethiopia, Africa's bright gem, set high among the verdant hills that gave birth to the unfailing waters of the Nile. Ethiopia shall rise. Ethiopia, land of the wise. Ethiopia, bold cradle of Africa's ancient rule and fertile school of our African culture. Ethiopia the wise shall rise and remold with us the full figure of Africa's hopes and destiny.